If you've been studying for your Part 107 exam using older materials, there's a good chance you've seen this. Night operations are prohibited without a waiver. Well, that used to be true, but it hasn't been true since April 2021. The FAA updated Part 107 to allow night operations without a waiver, but with specific requirements that you absolutely need to know, both for the exam and before you ever put a drone in the air after dark. Today, we're covering everything you need to know about night operations under Part 107. The lighting requirements, the training requirements, the civil twilight definition the FAA uses, and how LAANC authorization works at night. We'll wrap it all up with a quiz section built around the types of questions that actually appear on the knowledge test. Let's get into it. Before April 21st, 2021, flying a drone at night under Part 107 required a waiver from the FAA. That meant submitting an application, waiting up to 90 days, and getting individual approval for each night operation. It was time-consuming and limited how commercial drone pilots could work. The FAA's operations over people final rule changed that. As of April 21st, 2021, night operations are permitted under Part 107 without a waiver, as long as you meet three specific requirements. Number one, your drone must have compliant anti-collision lighting. Number two, you must have completed the appropriate training. Number three, all standard Part 107 rules still apply, including airspace authorization in controlled airspace. Let's go through each one. The lighting requirements is the one that most pilots focus on, and for good reason. It's the physical requirement you have to meet before every night flight. And getting it wrong means you're flying illegally regardless of your training or authorization status. Here's what the FAA requires. Your drone must be equipped with anti-collision lighting that is visible for at least 3 statute miles from the control station, and it must flash. A solid light does not meet the requirement. The flash rate must be sufficient to avoid a collision, which in practice means a strobe rather than a steady LED. Most drones do not come with lighting that meets this requirement from the factory. The built-in navigation lights on a DJI Mavic or Air series drone are not FAA compliant for night operations. They're not bright enough and they're not designed to be visible at 3 statute miles. You need an aftermarket strobe. I'll link below to the one that I recommend. Before any night flight, verify that your lighting actually meets the spec, not just that it looks bright up close, but that it's visible at 3 statute miles. The FAA does allow the remote pilot in command to reduce the intensity of anti-collision lighting if they determine it's in the interest of safety to do so in specific operating conditions. But they may not extinguish it entirely. Reducing is permitted, turning it off is not. Here's what you need to know for the exam. Anti-collision lighting must be visible for 3 statute miles, it must flash, and it must be operational for the duration of the flight. The training requirement is where a lot of pilots get caught off guard, because it depends on when you got certified. If you passed your Part 107 knowledge test or completed recurrent training after April 21st, 2021, you're covered. Night operations content was integrated into the standard knowledge test after that date, so your initial certification already includes it. You're authorized for night flying as long as you meet the lighting requirement. If you passed your Part 107 knowledge test before April 21st, 2021, you must complete the FAA's updated recurrent training before conducting any night operations. The recurrent training is available through the FAA Safety Team website at no cost and takes approximately 2 to 3 hours to complete. It covers night-specific topics including visual physiology at night, anti-collision lighting, and airspace authorization for night operations. So just remember for the exam that the training requirement really depends on the certification date. Post-April 2021 certification includes night operations. Pre-April 2021 requires updated recurrent training. The FAA doesn't define night operations using clock times. They use a precise astronomical definition based on civil twilight. This shows up on the exam and it's worth understanding clearly. Civil twilight is the period after sunset when the sun is no longer visible above the horizon, but there's still enough scattered light for most outdoor activities. It ends when the sun is 6 degrees below the horizon. For Part 107 purposes, night operations begin at the end of evening civil twilight and end at the beginning of morning civil twilight. Evening civil twilight ends approximately 30 minutes after official sunset. Morning civil twilight begins approximately 30 minutes before official sunrise. So what does this mean practically? Well, it means that you can legally begin night operations approximately 30 minutes after sunset, as long as your anti-collision lighting is active and you meet all other requirements. You can also fly during civil twilight itself, the 30-minute window after sunset before night officially begins, with the same lighting requirements. So for the exam, you need to know that night begins at the end of evening civil twilight, approximately 30 minutes after official sunset. So make sure you know the definition and know how to find the times. Night operations don't change your airspace authorization requirements. They actually add a layer of complexity to them. If you're flying at night in uncontrolled Class G airspace, your anti-collision lighting and training requirements are all you need. No additional authorization is required. But if you're flying at night in controlled airspace, Class B, C, D, or Class E surface extensions, you still need ATC authorization, exactly as you would during the day. The authorization requirement doesn't disappear after sunset. But here's the added complexity. LAANC authorization for night operations is not universally available. LAANC, the Low Altitude Authorization and Notification Capability System, enables near-instant airspace authorization in many areas. But not every airport that has LAANC enabled for daytime operations has it enabled for night operations. Some facilities restrict or limit nighttime LAANC availability. This means your pre-flight process for a night shoot in controlled airspace has an extra step. Verify that LAANC is available at night for your specific location before you schedule the shoot. If LAANC isn't available at night for that facility, you'll need to apply for a Part 107 waiver or a manual FAA drone zone authorization, which can take up to 90 days. Apps like Aloft display LAANC availability, including nighttime status for most covered airports. So check it during your pre-production process. For the exam, just remember that LAANC authorization is still required for night operations in controlled airspace. Not all LAANC-enabled airports support night authorization. Always verify before scheduling a night shoot. One thing the 2021 rule change did not eliminate is the visual line of sight requirement. You must still maintain visual line of sight with your drone throughout a night operation, exactly as you would during the day. In practice, this is harder at night than during the day. Your depth perception decreases significantly in low light conditions, and it's easier to lose orientation of your drone's position and heading. This is exactly why the anti-collision lighting requirement exists. The strobe isn't just about being visible to manned aircraft, it's also what allows you to maintain visual line of sight with your own drone in darkness. A few practical considerations the exam may touch on would be avoid bright lights in your field of view during night operations because they impair your ability to see the drone and disrupt your night adapted vision. Also, allow your eyes to adjust to darkness before beginning operations. The FAA recurrent training recommends at least 30 minutes of dark adaptation before a night flight. And be aware that your perception of distance and speed is less reliable at night. I think the most important things to know for the exam are that visual line of sight is still required at night. Anti-collision lighting is what makes it possible. Also, make sure you know the practical factors that affect night vision. Before the quiz, here's your at-a-glance summary of Part 107 night operations. Night operations are permitted without a waiver as of April 21st, 2021. Anti-collision lighting must be visible for 3 statute miles, must flash, and must be operational for the entire flight. Factory drone lights typically don't meet this requirement. An aftermarket strobe is required. Regarding training, if you were certified after April 2021, night operations were included in your training. If you were certified before April 2021, FAA recurrent training is required before flying at night. Try to remember civil twilight. That night begins at the end of evening civil twilight, approximately 30 minutes after official sunset. Regarding LAANC, airspace authorization is still required in controlled airspace at night. And not all LAANC facilities support night authorization. Make sure you verify before scheduling. Lastly, visual line of sight. It's still required. Anti-collision lighting is what makes it practical. All right, so the sunset tonight here in Pittsburgh was at 7:49 p.m. It's currently 8:19 p.m., which means that evening civil twilight has ended because that's 30 minutes after sunset. I know that I'm in Class G airspace right now because I checked on the airspace maps. I received my FAA Part 107 remote pilot license in 2023, which meant that as part of that training, nighttime operations was included. One more thing that we need to make sure is that I have anti-collision lighting on my drone. And I do. I just got the V-Fly anti-collision lighting. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that on. Before I fly, I just long press on it. And as you can see, it starts to strobe. It looks like I'm all ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and fly. All right, quiz time. Here are 7 questions built around the types of questions that actually appear in the Part 107 knowledge test. Give yourself a few seconds on each one. Question 1. Under current Part 107 regulations, night operations require A, a waiver from the FAA, B, anti-collision lighting visible for 3 statute miles, C, a visual observer at all times, D, operations limited to Class G airspace only. This was an easy one, right? The answer is B. Night operations no longer require a waiver as of April 2021. A visual observer is not required for night operations specifically, and you can fly in controlled airspace at night with proper authorization. The non-negotiable requirement is the anti-collision lighting, visible for 3 statute miles, flashing, operational for the entire flight. Question 2. A remote pilot was certified under Part 107 in January 2020. They want to conduct their first night operation. What must they do before flying at night? A. Apply for a night operations waiver through FAA Drone Zone. B. Complete the FAA recurrent training that includes night operations content. C. Nothing additional. Their existing certificate covers night operations. D. Pass a new knowledge test at an FAA testing center. The correct answer is B. Pilots certified before April 21st, 2021 must complete the FAA's updated recurrent training before conducting night operations. The training is free, available through the FAA Safety Team website, and takes approximately 2 to 3 hours. A new knowledge test is not required, only the recurrent training. Question 3. According to Part 107, when does night begin for the purposes of drone operations? Is it A, at official sunset, B, when it gets dark enough that you can't see the drone, C, 30 minutes after official sunset, the end of evening civil twilight, D, 1 hour after official sunset? The answer is C. Night begins 30 minutes after official sunset, which is also defined as the end of evening civil twilight. These 2 descriptions mean the same thing under Part 107. The FAA defines civil twilight as the period that begins at official sunset and ends exactly 30 minutes later. So when you see either phrase on the exam, they're pointing to the same moment. What this means practically, the window between official sunset and 30 minutes after sunset is civil twilight, and you can fly during that window, but your anti-collision lighting must already be active. Once civil twilight ends at the 30-minute mark, you're in night operations territory. Question 4. A drone pilot wants to conduct a night operation in Class C airspace. They have compliant anti-collision lighting and have completed recurrent training. What else is required? A. Nothing. Lighting and training are the only requirements. B. ATC authorization through LAANC or FAA Drone Zone. C. A night operations waiver from the FAA. Or D. A visual observer stationed at the flight location. The answer is B. Airspace authorization requirements do not change at night. If you need authorization to fly in Class C airspace during the day, and you do, you need the same authorization at night. Anti-collision lighting and training address the night-specific requirements. They don't replace airspace authorization. Question 5. A pilot is planning a night operation and checks their drone's built-in navigation lights. The lights are functional and visible up close. Are they compliant for night operations? A. Yes, any functional lighting meets the Part 107 requirement. B. Yes, as long as the lights are visible to the pilot. C. No. Built-in navigation lights on most consumer drones do not meet the 3 statute mile visibility requirement. D. Only if the drone weighs less than 0.55 pounds. The answer is C. This is one of the most common mistakes pilots make. The built-in lights on most consumer drones, DJI Mavic, Air Series, Mini Series, are not designed to be visible at 3 statute miles and do not meet the FAA requirement. An aftermarket strobe is required. All right, moving on. Question 6. A remote pilot wants to fly at night near a small regional airport that has LAANC coverage during the day. They submit a LAANC request the evening of the flight and it is denied. What is the most likely reason? A. LAANC is never available at night. B. The airport does not support nighttime LAANC authorization. C. Night operations always require a manual waiver, regardless of LAANC. D. LAANC requests must be submitted at least 24 hours in advance for night operations. The answer is B. Not every airport that has LAANC enabled for daytime operations supports nighttime LAANC authorization. This is exactly why you verify LAANC nighttime availability during pre-production, not the night of the shoot. If nighttime LAANC isn't available at your location, you need a manual FAA drone zone authorization, which can take up to 90 days, so build that time into your production timeline. Question 7. During a night operation, a remote pilot notices that bright stadium lights nearby are making it difficult to see their drone. According to Part 107 best practices, what should the pilot do? A. Continue the operation. Visual line of sight is not required at night. B. Switch to FPV goggles to better track the drone. C. Close your eyes for a few seconds to regain nighttime visibility. D. Consider terminating or repositioning the operation. Bright lights impair night vision and make maintaining visual line of sight more difficult. The answer is D. Visual line of sight is still required at night, and bright lights in your field of view directly impair your ability to maintain it. FPV goggles do not satisfy the visual line of sight requirement under Part 107. So if conditions are making it difficult to see your drone, the safe and legal response is to reposition or terminate. That's Part 107 night operations. If you found this helpful, make sure you subscribe. We cover every major Part 107 topic in this format, and there's more coming. Drop any questions in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Good luck on your test, and I'll see you in the next one.